on Sunday, so excited to be here on Tuesday, get back in action. Markets were closed yesterday, so we're going back to Friday to see where everything finished up. Dow Jones down about 230 points, down 0.7%. S&P down 31 points, 0.7% as well. Russell 2000 down a little bit more, 0.9%. And the NASDAQ 100 was down about 1.1%. And so this was all pretty much because of Russia. Ukraine is the big story. That's what is bringing markets down. In the pre-market, it looks like all of the futures are down as well. So not down too much. They bounced back a little bit from over the weekend when the initial more Russia stuff came out. I believe I saw somewhere that the futures and the Dow were down by like 500 points. So still trending down a little bit. Implied open in the Dow is minus 127, S&P minus 8, NASDAQ minus 70. So I would expect that to continue, especially as Russia continued its invasion of Ukraine yesterday by announcing accepting the freedom of those two regions in eastern Ukraine. I can't pronounce them, so I'm not even going to try at the moment. It's too early for that, too early for all of us. But that's the stock market news. I mean, expect volatility today, expect volatility the rest of the week. It doesn't seem like Putin and Biden are going to get to the table like France's Emmanuel Macron tried to get them to do. I think that's kind of out the door. So expect for more volatility in the stock market as long as the situation is kind of going and as long as there's no resolution in sight. So it'll be interesting to see what happens today, what happens tomorrow. But that being said, it's definitely, markets are going to be up and down. So moving into kind of our top stories of the day, we've got some big retail earnings reports that are coming out. My own former employer, Macy's, posted higher earnings, seeing a 28.3% increase in sales at stores over last year, bringing it to $8.67 billion in revenue for the quarter, which is a big announcement for them. Macy's has obviously struggled throughout the pandemic. They struggled a little bit before the pandemic with Amazon and just kind of the brick and mortar space. Just, it's a tough space. It's a tough space. Another big announcement from Macy's, though, is that they are not going to be splitting off their e-commerce units, which Jana Partners, the activist investor, has been pushing them to do. So that will not be happening, which is not a surprise because it came out last week that Jana had cut its stake, which meant that if you could kind of put the pieces together, you could see that things weren't going their way in the Macy's C-suite and then getting the board on board with that idea. So no more Macy's.com spinoff. Jana Partners cut its stake. So those are the big news for Macy's. Their stock is up 5% in the pre-market. Next up, Home Depot also had another pretty awesome earnings report. Sales growth for the 3 quarters ending in January up 11%. $35.27 billion of revenue during that period, or sales. Up about $3 billion from the same time frame last year. So Home Depot is continuing its run. I mean, people, obviously with the hot housing market, I guess that people still need Home Depot in their lives pretty significantly. So that's where we are with that. Home Depot still crushing it. I did not get a figure. Let's pull up real quick and see what their pre-market stock is trading at. Forgot to grab that number for everyone. My apologies. Well, it's down a little bit. Down about 3% in pre-market. Interesting news coming off of the good earnings. I guess that there is something that Wall Street doesn't like overall. Maybe it's their future growth. I haven't read the full earnings report, so that's something to tune into if you like Home Depot, if you own Home Depot stock. But they did increase sales, and so that's usually a positive sign. So keep that in mind for Home Depot. Some other big news. of the day is that Volkswagen is in advanced talks to IPO its Porsche unit. So this is something I'm going to cover more on Blake's Business Minute later today, so check that out. But it's a headline, could be an interesting move. So if you're interested in that, check out Blake's Business Minute later today. And we're going to finish off with two things of this episode of Blake's Business Morning Show. We're going to do financial news of the day, a history by Jason Zweig. Let's see what fun historical stacks happened today. And for those of you on TikTok, if you're seeing that I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm doing a 3-camera live stream on Facebook that'll also be on YouTube, so you can see the full wide-angle array, get all the camera views. That's just for y'all. I'm here to let you know that I'm not ignoring this camera. It's just I got another camera for the YouTube show. So we got February 22nd, this day in financial history. Let's go back. 1973, the New York Stock Exchange kicks off its first ever nationwide TV advertising campaign to encourage Americans to buy stocks. Naturally, this turns out to be the worst imaginable moment to egg on the investing public, as U.S. stocks go on to lose 14.7% of their value in 1973 and 26.5% in 1974. That's really interesting. I did not know that. That's a pretty fun fact. New York Stock Exchange kicking off commercials is an interesting concept, but they are a business, so many people don't know that. They're not a public service. They are, in fact, a business. So that's interesting. All right. We got our financial history. Now it's time to finish up. This is new. This is going to be something new. I'm going to switch to this camera number 2 for this. But it's going to be a kind of thought for the day. We're switching to it now. Oh, no. Wrong camera. All right, here we go. Kind of a thought for the day, thought for the week. Just something, to think about going throughout your day. I had it pulled up. It looks like I messed it up. But I love a blog called Farnham Street. They do the Shane Parrish, he does the Knowledge Project podcast. If you've ever heard of that, he's had some really high-profile guests, some really interesting speakers. But he has an incredible newsletter called Brain Food that comes out every Sunday. It has timeless insights. It's just a really good read to get you going for your week. He also has a website called Farnham Street that has a lot of great resources. It's $100 a year for the paid resources, but there's a ton of free articles too. And it's just really something that helps me in my day job, helps me just in general trying to grow, be a better person. And so lately he's been talking a lot about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And so this was one of the quotes: "The passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even or especially when it's not going well, is the hallmark of a growth mindset. This is the mindset that allows people to thrive during some of the most challenging times in their lives." And that really kind of hit home with me just because I started a new job about 3, 4, or 5 months ago, November, so however many months that is. But it's in sales for a prop tech company, and so growth mindset is very important, getting better at sales. I come from a real estate background, so I'm really bringing that real estate knowledge and not the sales knowledge to this prop tech company, and we've been talking about growth mindset there. And I think it's just important to help with my personal growth, doing the channel, doing Blake's Business Minute, but also in my day job, the everyday activities that I'm doing, try to get better, try to improve my career. So I thought it was a really good quote. Sign up for it. It's absolutely one of the best newsletters that are out there. It's the perfect amount of time. It takes like 5 to 10 minutes to read, and then it has articles spliced throughout that you can click on, so you can make it a longer process or a shorter process based on you're feeling for that day. But really good, and we're gonna have some thoughts and quotes to end these shows from now on. So I think I ran a little bit long, but that's okay. We've got our iced coffee in the corner. I forgot to cover our corner coffee. That's for TikTok. You're not going to be able to see it. You can see that on the YouTube. Go to Blake's Business Minute YouTube, and you will be able to see which coffee I'm bringing into the corner of the show as kind of our logo. So fun. And I think that's the day. Let's go out. Let's go crush it today. I'm going to go do my best to sell some prop tech. And don't forget to in later today for the Blake's Business Minute on the Porsche Volkswagen deal. So that's it. Have a great day, everybody. This has been a lot of fun, as always. Cheers. Enjoy your morning cup of coffee.